Hey everyone, welcome back to the garage. Today I wanted to discuss the Ridgid Power Tool line and try and determine whether it's something that a first-time power tool buyer should invest in, or those looking to upgrade from maybe a value line to something a little bit more robust should spend their money on. To start off, I want to make it clear that I've had no issues with any of my tools. I've never had to use the warranty. I've never had to use the lifetime service agreement. I know some people say that that can be kind of a hassle. I don't have any firsthand experience with it, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. I will say that I've never had any problems with any of the tools. The batteries are all still tight. That's one of the complaints I see once in a while, is that these batteries get loose. I've dropped these, they've fallen off ladders, all your typical stuff, and everything still functions, everything's still tight. What prompted this video is that, as you can see, I've kind of got my bases covered with the basic tools your average homeowner would have around. I'm at the point where I'm starting to look more for the specialty tools, and Ridgid just doesn't seem to have that quite figured out. Their line's comparably very small to other major brands, Ryobi, DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee. So I feel like Ridgid's major problem is they come out with a line. I've got stuff going back to Gen X4 all the way up through the current stuff. They'll come out with a line, they'll start making tools in that line for a year or two, then they discontinue that entire line and bring out a whole new line with the same tools, and they just repeat it. I feel like they never leave a line out there long enough to develop to the point they can cover some of these specialty tools and gaps they've got in their lineup. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to take you down and do a screen record, and we're going to compare a couple of these tool lines and just look at where Ridgid's at compared to everybody else. Okay, so here we are on Ridgid's cordless tool page. And my problem with Ridgid has never been the quality of the tools. It's always been the depth of the line, meaning they offer the basics, and that's about it. They don't offer any sort of specialty tools or anything like that. So what I did for all of these was I went through and looked at the bare tools that were offered in the line. Now, I looked at the bare tools because the combo kits are just those bare tools packaged differently, including batteries. They don't add anything to the line. There's some other channels out there that have gone to Home Depot's website and said, clicked on Ridgid in the cordless tool category and said, okay, Home Depot offers 200 and something Ridgid tools. That's not the case. That's 200 ways to buy Ridgid tools in different variations. So most of these brands we're going to talk about today, all of them except for Ridgid, advertise a certain amount of tools in the line. Milwaukee advertises 200 plus. Ryobi advertises that they offer 260 plus, and so on. Ridgid does not do that. So for Ridgid, I actually went through and counted the number of tools in the line and used that for my numbers that I came up with. The rest of them, I used that 200 plus. I used the 200 to come up with the figures. So when I start giving these percentages on the other brands, it may actually be less than what I'm telling you because there's more than 200 tools in the Milwaukee line at this point. Same thing with Ryobi, Makita, and DeWalt. So keep that in mind. Now, when I went through Ridgid, I counted 58 tools, and that includes the bare tools and then this cordless light category. I did not include this tripod because it's not a tool, it's just a stand for these lights. So the first thing you're going to notice when you're looking at the Ridgid line is that 6 of the tools are 1/2 inch drills. 6 of the tools are 1/4 inch impact drivers. So that makes up 12 tools out of 58. That's 20% of their line as drills and drivers. That's not including this right angle drill and the Multi-Max tool that also has a right angle drill head available, or at least it did. Another thing to note is that includes this hyperdrive brad nailer, which I believe has been discontinued. It's not on Home Depot's website, and this is the one I tried to buy about a year ago and got told it was discontinued and I couldn't find one. This finish nailer is still available. They did not replace that one yet with the new line of brushless nailers here. There's just a brad nailer and a framer. So I don't know if they're keeping the finish nailer or if that's going to get replaced once they're out of the inventory that they've got. Another thing that hurts Ridgid's 58 tool lineup is that includes 3 radios, a USB power source for the battery, and a fan. And it includes those 4 LED lights. So 9 of the tools I would not use in consideration of a tool line. To me, the radios and speakers are like a bonus if you're already in that line of tools. Same thing with the USB power adapter and the fan. The lights, you could argue that it's handy to have. I use mine all the time, but that's just because I have it. If I didn't, I would use a different flashlight. So you've got 21 tools now, 9 of them being more or less novelty items, I'm going to call them, and then 12 of them being drills and drivers. Now you can see they do offer a rotary hammer drill, they do offer a planer, they do offer a 7-inch grinder, which is nice to see. But then they've even got this little vacuum. Once again, I wouldn't use a vacuum to determine whether I was going to buy into a tool line. So there really aren't that many specialty tools in the Ridgid line. It's all pretty basic. And what Ridgid has continuously done over the years is that they come out with a line, like the Gen X4. They'll come out with a drill, a driver, or a couple of them is what they like to do. They'll come out with a few more tools after that. Then all of a sudden a year or two's gone by and now they're on to something else like the Octane line. They repeat the same process. Drills and drivers first, they'll bring out a couple more tools, and now we're to Gen X5. And then most recently they've started coming out with these subcompact and brushless lines. So they never actually get a depth to the product line. It's always the same stuff every 2 years refreshed. It's never anything actually new or groundbreaking to the line. I think part of this is because the company that makes the Ridgid tools owns Milwaukee, and they also own Ryobi. You've got Milwaukee at the high-end professional contractor level. You've got Ryobi, which is pushed for the DIY and homeowner crowd. And Ridgid was supposed to be kind of this in-between of quality and price. And unfortunately, I think it just gets kind of pushed to the side, especially lately, because the Ryobi is starting to close the gap that Ridgid was filling, and Milwaukee's also brought some things in that kind of narrow that gap even further, and I'll show some of that at the end of this video. You'll also notice on this website there is no big, what I would call, hero photo of all the tools in the line, because there's not really enough there to fill up a photo like Milwaukee does here, or Ryobi does here, or Makita does here, or DeWalt does here. They just don't have the tools to be able to do this. And Ridgid's website's very basic. I know that it's piggybacked onto the Ridgid Plumbing Tools website, but it's very basic compared to the Milwaukee and Ryobi sites, which have the same parent company. You've got Milwaukee offering 200 tools, 200 plus tools. And I found 10 drills and 10 drivers in the M18 line. I'm not bringing in the M12 line because I would consider that a different battery platform, even though the chargers can charge both most of the time. But that's only 10% of their line still. Even though there's 20 of them, it's only 10% of their line. And I'm not going to go real deep into Milwaukee and the rest of their offerings. But Milwaukee's got a lot of yard tools out. They've got a lot of specialty tools for the trades. There's a lot of things that are nice. They have die grinders. They have some pretty big angle grinders. Metal cutting saws are available, I believe. So there's a lot there if you need it. Same thing with Ryobi. Ryobi has really stepped up their game, and I honestly think if they were at what they are now when I was buying my Ridgid tools, I probably would have considered Ryobi a little bit more carefully. Back when I bought my first Ridgid tools, Ryobi still had this stigma about it of being like a cheap, throwaway brand almost, and they've really stepped up what they've done. And they do offer a lot of cool things. I mean, they have a cordless hot glue gun, which would be great, fixing the kids' toys and stuff like that. They've got a cordless soldering iron, so if you need to fix some wiring in a car you can't get in the garage, you don't have to get out an extension cord. They've got a lot of nice buffers and polishers that are great if you detail cars a lot. So there's a lot of cool little things that they offer that aren't found in some of the other lines. Now, one thing I don't necessarily like about Ryobi is that they had a chance when they rebranded to kind of change this battery style and get away from having these stem connectors on these batteries. I don't think the batteries themselves are a hindrance. I think they're fine. It's just that stem means that they have to design the tool around being able to fit that connector in it. And I've seen some pretty wonky handle designs because of it, and they can't do things like what Ridgid does, angle the battery or mount it horizontally underneath or out of the way, or even mount it on top. It's just you have to be able to stick that stem in to get your battery connection. So I think they should have changed that when they rebranded. It's too late for them to do it now. The line's too deep and too widely available and out there for them to be changing a battery design at this point. I just wish that's one thing that they would have done when they started this marketing and, expanding this line. Now, Ryobi, I could only find 2 drills in their bare tools, and I don't think that's correct. I feel like there's a couple more. And I did find 6 drivers. That makes it 3% of their line using the 260 tool number that they provide. So it may be a little bit higher, but it's not going to get up to anything above, say, 10% would be probably high. Now you go to Makita, they've got 300 tools in this line. And 12 of them were drills, 7 were drivers. That makes up 19. And that's still only about 6%. Another nice thing about Makita is that their 36 volt tools use 2 of the 18 volt batteries, so you don't have to buy another battery to get 36 volt tools. You can just take 2 of your 18 volts, put them in the tool, and that may make them a little bit bulkier. However, it's a nice convenience to not have to have an entirely new system in order to get those tools. And they do offer a lot of specialty tools. They've got a 9-inch, 36 volt 9-inch angle grinder that takes 2 batteries. They've even got a coffee maker that runs off an 18 volt battery if you really were inclined to do that. And last that we're going to talk about today is DeWalt. Now, DeWalt states that they have 250 tools or more. 11 were drills, 4 were drivers. That comes out to about 6% of the 250 tools. So they still have a pretty large line. And as you can see in here, they've got some metal shears and several different types of adhesive guns. They've got some lawn equipment. There's a couple different porta bands over here. Obviously a full line of nail guns. So they've got a pretty well-rounded line. Now, if we go to Home Depot's website, you can see Ridgid's highest price line for the drill and driver in a set is $229. They have another subcompact set at $169. And if you look over here, you can start seeing that they've got sets as low as $119 and $139. So this is why they have so many different drills and drivers, is because they're pricing these out in every price point that's available with anything that competes with it. So this is going to be close to your low end, like your lowest end Ryobi line. And then in here you've got kind of where Ridgid should be, that $170 to $200 range. And then here you're in Milwaukee range almost here. Milwaukee and Makita, $229. I mean, it'd be hard for me to spend $229 on a Ridgid drill and driver, especially because I just noticed that Milwaukee has come out with a $199 drill and driver set that's brushless. Now this isn't the Fuel, but it is a brushless set for 200 bucks. And I just don't think you could really beat that. I don't know that I'd buy the Ridgid over this. The Fuel's still a little up there. It's $399. But you've also got Makita. Their subcompact line is $229. Their full-size line is $239. Those are both brushless options. They do have some other sets that are $179. It would be hard at this point with what's available for me to walk into Home Depot and say I'm going to buy the Ridgid set with all of these different price points. Even Ryobi, they've got a drill and driver for $149 brushless. I mean, I would rather have that probably than the Ridgid line at this point because of everything else that's available in the Ryobi line. So another thing to keep in mind with Ryobi and Ridgid is that you can only buy them at Home Depot. Home Depot is the only authorized retailer for Ryobi and Ridgid tools. There's one exception, and that's Direct Tools Outlet. They are like a clearance house for the factory reconditioned and blemished tools from Ridgid and Ryobi. So they sell things a little bit under what retail would be just to get rid of them. And you can find some pretty good deals there if you keep an eye out. Whereas with Milwaukee, you've got all these retailers you can buy from online. There's some not on here that I know of local to me. And Makita's about the same. There's a bunch of vendors you can buy from online. So you're more likely to find better deals on tools in those lines because all of these retailers are competing against each other. With Ryobi and Ridgid, Home Depot only has to compete with itself. So there's no reason for them to do any sort of big discounts if they're looking at competition. Same thing with DeWalt. DeWalt you can find in a lot of places and find good deals on their products as well. To kind of wrap this up, me personally, at this point, I would not be investing money into the Ridgid tool line, especially if you don't have any tools and you're looking for a first set. I would look at what's out there. If you need tools on a budget, Ryobi's probably going to be your best bet, and they've come a long way in the recent years. I mean, they're all over the home and garden shows and YouTube channels and all sorts of things. They've also got a lot of more maybe useful tools for your DIY person that occasionally uses tools like the hot glue guns and stuff like that. If you're a little more serious, or you do woodworking as a hobby or metalworking, I would probably look into either Milwaukee or Makita. There's nothing really wrong with DeWalt. I just, for whatever reason, have never been a huge fan. And that's not, I don't really have a reasoning for that. I've always looked towards Makita and Milwaukee. So I'm going to probably keep an eye out over the next few months, see what's coming out. And then probably around Black Friday this year is when I'm going to start looking to actually purchase anything. But I just wanted to get this video out there and let people know that Ridgid tools are probably not the way to go at this point. They just don't seem to be doing anything. They don't seem to be innovating any new tools. They just keep rehashing the same tools over and over again. And that's coming from somebody who has Ridgid tools and has had no issues with Ridgid tools. I'm just at a point where I'm looking for certain things they don't have, and I have to make a decision as to what I'm going to do, and I really don't want to have multiple different battery platforms. I want to keep it narrowed down to a certain platform. So I hope you guys learned a little bit from this. I hope that it was kind of got you thinking about what you're going to do if you're ready to spend some money. And hopefully you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.